right. Let's see. I think audio is looking good. Okay. Just about ready to get started. Awesome to have a few folks in here already. That's great. I'm Trashwizz. Or Wizard of Trash, or whatever. Wizard. Go by a lot. But I'm a game developer. Working on some prototypes right now. Not totally sure what kind of game I'm actually going to release, really. But I'm having a good time with it, and I've got my current progress sort of on screen over here. Now, I'm used to sort of an agile development process, so I'm going to start with stand-up. What I got done since my last stream, what I'm working on right now, and what I'm going to do between now and next stream. Next stream is going to be Friday, and my last stream was like 3 years ago. So I've gotten a lot done. Buckle up. No. This is a little prototype I started pretty recently. It's inspired by a few different games, but sort of the idea is I want to have sort of a bunch of little robots sort of on a farm or in a colony or something that are just they're up to stuff. They're just moving around and doing things. I have some plans for some other game mechanics, which I could talk about later, but for now, I just sort of want to dive on in. Let me shift views here. That's a little better. So this is sort of it running at the moment. I'm sort of in between revisions of how the little robot character scripts work. I decided to sort of refactor the hierarchy of their scene and rewrite how some of their scripts talk to each other. Oh, it seemed like one of them fell off a ledge briefly. And so, as you can see, I've sort of got these debug messages flying through. This is basic stuff to make sure that some of their idle scripts are working correctly. And all they're able to do right now is just sort of scoot around and pause for a few seconds and then scoot around some more. And so this is what they do when they don't have any activities or enrichment or anything else, which is not good. We don't want that for little robots. They need activities. So that's the first thing I'm gonna try to hook up. So they've got these little emote bubbles above them, and so that's intended to display a sprite that corresponds to the activity that they're about to do or that they're currently doing. But right now they've just got all this cute little blank little happy face kind of thing going on. We can sort of zoom in if you don't want to see it better, but exercise. How are they going to be up to stuff if there's no stuff up to up? Yeah, there is no stuff to up, so they can't do that just yet. Also, I have a script called Hive Mind that's currently restricting how many of them can do activities at once. And the maximum is 0, so none of them can do activities. Hive Mind says no. But I'm going to be fixing that first. So I've got 2 activities already sort of created. We'll go ahead and kill the running game so I could sort of show that. Hiding in scripts here. I just have a couple made. We have chatter and we have space out for now. And space out's gonna be pretty simple. They're just gonna not do anything during space out. But chatter, we want them to be able to find another drone, path to it, do the chatter activity with them for a few seconds, and display a corresponding face. That one's going to be a little bit complicated. It involves scripting pathfinding stuff, which I've never done before. So that should be fun. But for now, let's see if we can get the activities connecting to the little sprite things. That's what I'm going to do first. So we've got our little guy here. It's just a cylinder and a box and some scripts on it, basically. And I've got this emoter thing. I think I was gonna put a script on that, but I don't think I wrote it yet. So let's start with that. We want to navigate to the right folder first, though. Did I do the wrong thing here? Oh no, that's inherits. That was the wrong thing. Nope, not scenes. It's not really, it should be in drones. We want to put it in drones. And we'll do capital E emoter just to keep it consistent. All right, nothing there yet. That's just fine. So first things first, drone body. This is the script attached to the sort of the root node of the little guy. It's the thing we move around when they're going to move. But we're going to do a new onReady here. Unless I already have one for it. I don't think I do. And we want to specify it's a node 3D, and we'll just make it equals emoter. Nice and simple. So now that'll have a reference to that right out of the gate, because we want all the things that have a reference to the body to tell the emoter what to do. The emoter, let's see, we probably want an onReady to the bubble itself, because that's the thing that we're going to hide when they're not up to stuff. So onReady var, just, my brain just broke for a second, didn't know how to spell emote, even though it's like literally right there. That's a node 3D. Boop. Actually, it's not a node 3D. No, that's wrong. That is, what? What are you? Sprite 3D. Okay, that's fine. It's fine, it inherits from node 3D. That works, I think. And then we want emote icon. Yoink. Cool, we've got our good references there. So then I guess we can do, gotta create some functions. Actually, I don't remember how I wrote the functions. Oh yeah, that's fine. Let's see, show bubble. I don't like it when it shows errors like that, so I always close it up. There will be more text in there here shortly. Func display emote. So this functions can take the sprite passed by other parts of the little guy, and then actually change the sprite of the emote icon to match the incoming sprite. Show bubble is just gonna actually, I should probably make this something that takes a boolean, right? To show. And we'll change this to toggle bubble. That's not spelled right. There we go. 90% of my errors in Godot is just, it's spelling mistakes. It's the dyslexia. The cisdyslexia or whatever. Okay, so for toggle bubble, this is all about it being active, I think. Or is it visibility? I think it's visibility. So we're going to go self visible equals to show. That should be easy enough. And then for display emote, let's see. Well, there was another script on the older version of the little guys that did this. So let's look at that. We're going to look in old drone. Was it in drone mover or was it in drone behavior? Wandering, move away, interrupt, timeout. It's not there. Drone behavior, maybe. We've got do something. Yeah, this is a lot. Here we go. Oh no, that's not it. This is the thing that puts text in the little text box that says what the drones are actually up to. I haven't messed with that yet. That's not on the new version of it, rather. Get activity label, activity end. That doesn't seem correct either. Was it sample guy root? No. It's got to be one of these, right? It's got to be drone behavior because that has the early activities array on it. So do something. Emote bubble visible. Emote sprite equals act selection dot emote sprite. There we go. Emote icon dot texture. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Dot texture. So this would be emote icon dot texture equals this emote. That's what we needed to do. So I think we're going to call these two functions from, I think we want to call that from activity mod, because activity mod is the thing that does the activities on this version of the little guy. So we've got the stuff for picking activities, right? We've got current activity. We've got the ability to print a message for what they want to do. So now we gotta get them to display the sprite. But it doesn't have a reference to the emoter. So we're gonna do var emoter. And then let's see. We need to set up the reference to the emoter on this guy. We could make this an on ready too if we really felt like it. That would be the quickest way. Let's see. And this is node 3D. Grab the emoter. Now that's not a very safe way to do it, but it'll be quick, so it'll work just fine for now. And then down here we want to do, when we pick an activity, our quickest result is going to be to do motor. Let's look at what I named those methods. Toggle bubble true display emote from the activity. So we'll do toggle see how many tries will take me to spell bubble correctly. So the other one was what? Was display emote. I'm just going to copy and paste it. I don't want to run the risk that I misspell it again, right? And the activities themselves, those have a sprite associated with them. Let's look at the activity script to make sure I get that variable correct. Although, yeah, we want to check that because of the way that we're sort of passing them around. So that's in activities. Activity, there we go. So we have emote sprite. Okay. Oh, wrong thing I'm editing here. So that would be current activity, emote, sprite. We need to save all these. Save all. That way when I hit play, they'll actually work. That's what we want. We don't want it to not work. That would suck. And we'll save the scene. Back in the main scene. Actually, the hive mind thing is hard-coded. So we're going to set max activities to 5. This is going to let up to 5 of them pick activities. They're not going to actually do the activity, but they're going to show their sprites when they start. So let's see how that looks. Fingers crossed. No whammies, no errors. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. Okay. Okay, so it seems to be working so far. They've switched states. We've got some drones that want to chatter. We've got at least one that wants to space out. That's good. Excuse me. That's a good sign. That's what I want to see. Okay. So we got that going. Now what? We need to... Let's get space out working correctly, at least. We can start there. So activity mod, that's going to need a timer component, I think. That's going to let us sort of time out how long they're going to space out for. Okay, that's this guy. And we're going to get rid of... we don't need to keep... So, well, we might need to reference the older scripts. So we're going to keep those around for now. So we're picking our activities. We're doing our state changes. We've got a bunch of... what's the thing I'm looking for? Enumerators. Basically, it's a state machine on these guys. But what is... Okay, so it's not drone behavior, it's drone body. Okay. So we have, of the different states, which are the ones this guy is in charge of? Oh no, it's all in the brain. Gosh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. There we go, drone brain. Okay, so we have our idle state. We have our main state. We don't have an activity state yet. That needs to go on the activity mod. So we're going to go... Well, actually, before we go any further, let's double check shared to make sure that we even have an activity state enumerator. We do. None, thinking, transit, acting. Okay, perfect. I already thought of that. So we go activity mod. And we want an enumerator for this. So actually, do we want to name this current activity state? How did I do it in brain? Let's look at brain again. Drone brain. Oh, yep, I just used state. So we're gonna go activity state. Okay, I need to remember how I named it again. Okay, it's camel case. Equals shared dot activity state dot none. So we're gonna start in none state. But if we pick an activity, part of this is going to be, let's look at the shared state again. None, thinking, transit, acting. So we want to do thinking first, probably, because I think thinking is going to be triggered by pick activity. So we're going to go equals activity state thinking. Okay, so now we're out of the none state. Because when the timer goes off, however we set the timer, we need information about what state the activity state is in we don't want it to do stuff if the activity state is none, because if something is going to interrupt one of these guys out of an activity, we don't want them to sort of move on to whatever the next state of their activity thing is going to be like, right? We're going to look at activity again, because that has what? Movement type, participation type. I think movement type is the thing I'm looking for right now. So let's look at, we got to look at our activities again. Space out. Movement type is stay. Participation solo. So that means it doesn't have a target and it's not going anywhere. So it's picked an activity. We can decide that part of the pick activity function basically takes the current activity, which is what pick activity random will do for us. It sets current activity to something. And what we could do, if we make it null by default, we can check to see if it's still null during pick activity, just to make sure that worked. So if current activity is null, we're going to print a message. Drone done goofed. No activity, dummy. And return, because we want to end. Come on, I can spell return. Spelling and talking at the same time, that's going to be a new and interesting skill I'll need to develop. Okay. So, but as long as it's not null, then we know that we can go ahead and do whatever our activity is here. So we picked it. The state should be thinking. Now is when we try to figure out, we got to check target, and then we got to check movement type. Those are the two things that we'll need to check to determine how we need them to behave. So for now, the simplest way to check for that is going to be if current activity dot, I want to say it's participation. Equals shared dot participation type solo and current activity, oh wait, dot, wait, are those variables wouldn't be caps on activity, would they? Participation, movement pattern, they're not. I goofed. Participation, and this would be movement pattern equals shared dots movement pattern stay. Kind of specific, not very readable. I don't know if it works to break it up in lines like that or what. No, it does not. Sad. I'll do something less ugly than this very long line in a bit. Actually, we can do something less ugly than that right now. Why wait? Let's go. We're just gonna pop this condition and nest it. Come on. Okay, don't need that anymore. Boop. So if it's solo and it's stay, then that tells us that we can go ahead and space out. Perfect. Let's make a comment to that effect. Oh, that comment's not going to be enough for it to think I'm just not doing anything in that loop. Pass is very load bearing right now. I don't like seeing the red. It makes me upset. Red is the upset color. Okay. So if both of those things are true, we're already showing the emote that we want to show, which is too soon for the chatter one, but that was just for now, right? But yeah, if both of those things are true, we don't need to do any particular moving. I think we just, we set our emote, we set the timer. I'm gonna put these in here for redundancy's sake. Red is the upset color. And then we want to know how long they're going to space out for. But activity doesn't have a variable for that right now. So I feel like now is the time to add that. So we do, let's see, where in this assortment do I want to put that? And actually this partic move type, partic type is move type. These aren't being used anymore. That was part of an older version of that particular guy, and consequently these variables are simply not being used anymore. Isn't that nice? So let's go. We have minimum targets, participation type. Let's get rid of that guy. Okay, where was I? So the time we want them to do the actual activity, let's just put that near the emote sprite. I can't think of a better place to put it. Export var activity time float. And I guess default can be 1. Then we want to add some variation, some room for variation there, because it's going to be random within sort of a range. Activity flex float equals 0.1. And then we probably want to do I want to limit the travel time before they give up? That might not be a bad thing to have space for. Maybe right after movement pattern. So we'll go with movement time float. Or no, not movement time. So let's go with max. I can think of a better name for this. The amount of time they're willing to spend going to their target. I'm going to call that patience. Oh, but I don't trust myself to spell it correctly right now. Awkward. I'll call it willingness, I guess. Man. Oh, janky here. Thank you. Exercise saving the day. Normally I would Google it and see if Google corrects my spelling before I hit enter. It's so pathetic. Okay. It's a float. Patience. We want that to be pretty high for now. Okay. Save. We'll save all, actually. Whew, man. Face is feeling all warm from embarrassment here. So now space out has these new variables. We've got patience, activity time, flex. So how long to space out for? What's a good amount of time to space out? Let's go with 9 with a flex of 1. That seems like a good amount of time. Oh yeah, definitely a perfect hair forever reference. That's a deep cut. Some uncle grandfather. Patience. Let's see. And then for chatter, patience of 10 is good. I kind of feel like activity time and flex time of 9 and 1. That really ought to be the default. I don't want them to have a 1 second activity. That's not enough time. That's nowhere near enough time. Okay, we're gonna save that. That's much better. That's comfier. Back to activity. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even think perfect hair forever is even in the larger elder millennial sphere. Like that's a niche show. As far as shows go, that's a niche show. And I only kind of recommend, like I don't even necessarily know I would recommend. That's brain rot level show right there. Okay, we got to go back to activity mod. Oh yeah, artisanal niche memes. That's right. So we've got the variables we need for the current activity. So now we just need to talk to the clock, to our timer. We need an onReady variable for that. So this is going to be activity timer. Boop. There we go. We've got the timer, and I'm going to even rename you. That'll make it easier for me to find it. And I think I need to change this. It's going to get mad at me if I don't. All right, so we've got that. Activity timer, cool. Now we need to basically tell it how long it needs to run for. And if we're spacing out, which is what we're doing, we want to enable space out. Then all that matters is the wait time and the flex. So max wait is current activity dot wait time. Was it wait time? Shit. I already forgot what I called that variable. It's activity time. That's what I named it. But it is activity time though. It really is. Plus current activity dot flex time. Was it flex time? No, it's activity flex. If only I had written that like 10 seconds ago or something. Min wait. Current activity time minus current activity flex. We also want to make sure that's not 0 or not less than 0. If it's less than or equal to 0, we're going to make that minimum 0.1. Because then we're going to pick a random value between min weight and max weight. And that's how long the timer is going to run for. And to do that, I'm going to look at one of my other scripts where I already did that. Let's see. Gotta find a place where I did that. There it is. Whoop. Gonna just copy it. But of course, it doesn't know what RNG is. But I think the brain does, right? Drone brain, you and RNG, it does. Okay. Do you have a reference to the brain? You will by the time you're running this. So this is going to be brain.rng. Oh, and I flipped it around. We're just going to use the same terms here as I use in other scripts. I don't see why I need to do it differently. There we go. It all agrees. So we've got a random, we don't want to call it idle time, that we want to call it activity time. So then we do something about setting the timer, right? Timer wait time, timer start. We're just gonna yoink that too. I'm just copying from myself, so it's cool. But we're using activity time. Oh no, that's the name of the timer. So that's activity timer, isn't it? Dot wait time equals activity time. Activity timer start. So then we need a signal. So we've got our activity timer there. I keep just saying activity because that's how I spelled it because I'm a goober. Timeout. We want to connect that to activity mod. And we got a little method here that's going to get called whenever the activity timer runs out. It's going to call that method. So what do we want it to do? That tells us that it's done spacing out. And so it should, well, it should stop activity, right? So let's make a new function for that. Stop activity. That sounds like something like a grumpy like substitute teacher might say when like people are getting rowdy. Stop activity. Cut it out. Stop activity. All right. So if we want to stop activity, we need to change our activity state. So it's shared activity state none. And then I think we need to tell brain to start wait. Because that changes the main state, right? Move mode, idle state. Oh, it doesn't change the main state. Well, we can Okay, we can actually do that from here. So we can do brain state. No, we got to do an if. We got to know what the brain main state is. Shared main state. We want to know if it's activity. And if it is, we need to stop it. We need to stop activity. Oh no, I can't just say idle. I have to say shared main state idle. Okay. So this transitions the little guy from doing activity to not doing activity. We also need to tell it to start wait. So then we go brain start wait. I think that's right. Let's double check. It's gonna throw errors if I'm wrong. Start wait. Okay, I like that. We like to see it. So we've got start wait going. And then if that's not true, we should print something. But let's get the nickname of the drone so we know what's going on. So this will be, do we have a reference to the body in here? Oh, we have a reference to the sheet. That's what we need. Or no, it's not what we need. Yeah, we do have a reference to the body. Body is what we need. Body contains the nickname. The body contains the nickname. The nickname is stored in the body. Prove me wrong. So we have body.nickname plus is really trying to stop activity, but I don't think it was doing that really. There we go. That's a nice... Well, so I'm just going to make it a little shorter. I don't want to have to scroll right to see the whole print phrase. We don't like that. So then when the timer runs out, so we don't always want to tell it stop activity when the timer runs out, because I'm going to use that timer for things that aren't just you know, finishing spacing out. Like sometimes this timer is going to be used for like max travel time or something, maybe, right? In which case, though, if it's being used for that and it's traveling, that's probably still going to go into stop activity, though, won't it? Crud. I mean, we could just do stop activity for now. If I need to make that to be smarter later, we can change it to be smarter. I'm eager to hit play. I want to see what's going to break. Let's see what breaks. I'm assuming something will break. We're going to go out of full screen so that I can see the debug messages. Okay, some people are spacing out. That's good. We want them spacing out. And then after about 10 or 11 seconds, maybe a little less, they'll stop spacing out and they'll start doing something else. Ah, but I don't tell them. Oh, somebody's trying to stop and they don't think they were doing that. Oh no, they're in trouble. Oh no. Oh, they don't think they were doing activity. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bippy. I shouldn't have told you to stop. You weren't doing that. Okay, I think part of the problem is the repeat. There's a chance the timer is set to repeat. And it shouldn't be doing that, maybe. Oh, is it one shot? Hang on, tooltip, tell me what you were for. If true, it will stop after reaching the end. Otherwise, it will automatically restart. There we go. I'm sorry, Bippy, you got in trouble. You shouldn't have gotten in trouble for that. Sorry, Bippy. Okay, I think I fixed it, Bippy. I think we're good now. We're going to save the scene. We're going to play again, Bippy. Oh, I'm so glad I gave them nicknames. Thank you for the suggestion for Bippy. Okay, they're doing something. They're spacing out. Okay. We've got some spacing buddies here. I love how everybody who wants to chatter is just stuck. Okay, cool. So the ones that are spacing out, they do actually stop and start wandering again. That's what we wanted, but the sprite is sticking around. So that's a thing I forgot to add in stop activity. Is that they're just gonna keep showing that little palm tree there that says that they're spacing out, which is not wrong. it's just not the intended behavior. So we're going to do at the top of stoptivity. Well, we only want to do this if they really were doing tivity, right? So toggle bubbles false if we do stoptivity. That's going to hide the bubble when they're done, which is what we want. That's the goal. So we're going to save. So that covers spacing out behavior. The next one, and this one's going to be a much tougher one, is going to be finding someone to chat with, traveling to them, chatting for a little bit with them, making them chat too, because that's a two-way street at least. And then deciding to stop after a certain period of time. So that could be tricky. So we've got all this stuff that we've added to where did I put that ugly gate? Was it in Pictivity? Oh yeah, it was in Pictivity. I don't know if I like that all that is in Pictivity. Right? It picked it. I feel like that needs to be in a different function. I think we need to do func perform. Come on. I can spell activity. Can I? One of these days I'm going to say that while I'm spelling it wrong and not fix it. And then you'll never see me again. This is, of course, false. I will just have to laugh at myself about it real hard. So the end of Pictivity, we're going to do perform activity. That breaks it up. That's a little better, a little happier, right? It wasn't the upset color or anything, but this is still better than it was. Okay, so in perform activity, we've got all the stuff that we need to space out. That's good. That's good stuff. I kind of want that to also be its own function, though. You know? So we have solo, stationary. I don't want perform activity to just be basically like a giant switch case. But I don't have a better idea right now. So that's just how we're going to do it, I think. So then we're going to do, we know what chatter is. We know what variables are used for chatter. So we're going to do if current activity, participation, shared, participation type. I want to say it was group. Yeah, it's group. Yeah. If current activity, we're going to go with movement pattern, shared movement pattern. Oh no, not movement mode. Movement pattern. So this is going to be approach. So this is going to be chattering. There, got to get rid of that upset color. Okay, now what? So we've got the if statements we need to start travel. We can actually start by just sending them in a random direction for now. That is going to be quicker and easier than trying to cram pathfinding into it at this pass. So what we can do, we could basically make them run out of patience instead of actually getting them to successfully chatter with anybody. And for now, we're going to have the emoter do its thing right away. Not that that's what we want. I would kind of prefer them play it close to the chest until they get to who they want to chat with once this is wrapped. So I'm going to label that this is temporary. This is basically for testing purposes, because it's going to be cuter this way than having them just sort of like hurtle into a random direction for 10 seconds without any explanation of what they're trying to do. So we've got that. Now what? Well, we've got our times, right? Let's do times. It's going to be basically the same, except this isn't waiting that we're doing. It's something else. So instead of activity time, oh yeah, patience is just one value. It doesn't have any flex to it. So we're going to do patience first. We're going to test patience. In fact, we don't even need another line there. We know we're just going to set the activity timer to equal patience, right? So we're going to do timer wait time equals current activity dot patience. I can spell it because I'm staring at it in the inspector. If it weren't for that, I would be toast. Hey, it's trachea. Awesome. Good to see you. I'm making progress. You missed a brief moment, which I'll have to like maybe try to go back and clip, where one of the little robots got in trouble, and they weren't really in trouble. I was asking them to not do something that they weren't doing in code. It was sad. Bippy got very embarrassed. It wasn't good, and also I forgot I didn't know how to spell the word patience. That was bad. You missed that. I'm just like fessing up to everything right now. Everything you missed. Yeah, pesky bots. That's true. They're up to stuff. It's an important part of the process. Okay, so we've got our emote sprites. We've got patience. Oh, I'm glad you're digging it. Well, get ready, because I think I'm about to press play here soon to see, basically to see if oh no, I need to get them to move, right? I want them to move in a random direction. So in this other gate here, we set emote state, didn't we? Did we set emote state in here? I'm looking for it. I don't see it. Oh no, it was activity state. Where the heck did I set the ding dang activity state? Was it in pick activity? No. We've got main state. We have idle state. Well, we can search for that. Oh, it's in stop activity. Okay. Oh, we're not even setting it to something other than none. It's just getting set to none again. Okay. So I think this is where the activity timer is going to be helpful, where I'm going to be able to check the activity state and then do something if it's set to a certain value. But for now, I don't need to mess with that just yet, because in perform activity and the one that we're going to try to find someone to chatter with, we're already setting it to patience. We want them to move for that amount of time anyways, right? So we just need to figure out how to get them to move. And for that, we look at, I think, drone body. Drone body has all of the move logic on it. We have move mode. If it's wander, it's going to be wandering. If it's none, it's going to not go anywhere. And it's none while it's waiting. I honestly feel like it's pretty much pure chance that move mode happens to be none when they start spacing out. because they try to do an activity at the end of a wait, and they're not moving then, right? So before I go crazy, we need to set the move mode to none from the activity person when they're going to space out. So here we go. There's the space out thing. So this is going to be body.move mode equals shared none. Okay, that's good. That's what we want. But down here, we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to set it to wander. Now, before I go even further, oh, those are the only two modes right now. Excellent. Excellent. That's what I want to see. Okay. Last thing I need to check. I need to make sure that part of wander is picking a random direction. Well, actually, that's not super important. Because even if they move in exactly the direction they were already facing, it's not like we're keeping that behavior anyways, right? Let's see how this goes. So we're booting it up. You get a chance to see the little robots at play here. Okay, they're the ones that are trying to chatter are going somewhere. They're going somewhere. Let's see if they freak out when they're supposed. Oh. We got it. Yeah. Okay. Chatter appears to be working. Or it's the test version's working rather. It's doing all the stuff that we wanted to do so far. That's good. That's what we want. That's what I was hoping for. We like it when there's no bugs. Okay. So we've got that going. They're moving in a random direction. Cool. Or they're moving in the direction they were already facing, right? Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to avoid doing pathfinding now. So now I got to do pathfinding. Now I did a little bit of a cheat, a little bit of a goof, if you would. Where is that? Uh-oh. I took a screenshot of something. Where is it? Uh-oh. Okay. Well, I've got something I can reference. And hopefully y'all aren't going to see behind the curtain too much here. Come on. Open the folder. But where's the folder? Oh, okay. Whew. Lucked out. It didn't open the folder where y'all could see it. And we're going to just stash that over here. Okay. I've got some reference code. Perfect. That's what I want to see. That is going to allow me to script this out efficiently. Efficiently? Efficiency. It's efficiently, right? The language parts of my brain, they are just coming apart. What is going on? Okay. So I've got some reference code that I can use if I get stuck. In terms of pathfinding, we do need to pick targets first. So let's see. Efficiency. Yes, I was basically saying efficiency. Yeah, called out. Okay, so pick targets. We got to pick targets. Well, and we got to change states too, right? So there should be an activity state for this, if I'm not mistaken. So they go into the thinking state, I'm pretty sure, during the picking phase. This is going to be transit. This is activity state transit. So now I remember what the deal is. So in here, we're going to do... We don't want to do wander anymore. We're going to need to do a different movement mode for this here soon. But we're going to do activity state transit. Or wait, activity state equals shared activity state transit. So that tells the timer when it runs out that they haven't already moved on. They're going to give up trying to get to their target, right? So for now, stop activity works in both of these cases. So I don't really need to do anything just yet. But probably what I'll need to do is halt the timer when they arrive at the destination, right? So let's start working on that function now before I forget. I'm a bit of an ADHD programmer, so I sort of bounce all over the place. We're gonna go start arrival. So this is going to be a function that will get called when they get to their destination. Yeah, I do have a little bit of music on the background. I've got, there's a nice little, what's the word I'm looking for? Royalty-free music station that I'm using. That's just like lo-fi beats for now. I'm going to find something maybe a little more specific later, but it's pretty grooving right now, so I'm going to sort of keep it there. Okay, we got to get rid of that upset red color. So during start arrival, we need to stop the timer. So that's what? Activity timer. There's a stop. Right? Oh, well, stops the timer, it turns out. Yeah, it stops the timer. That's exactly the method I was looking for. Activity timer.stop, it stops the timer. That's what it does. Awesome. So hopefully we're going to remember. I'm going to remember this. I'm going to leave myself a note to remember this. If I forget about it, though, that note's not going to help. But when they get to their destination, I need to call this so that they don't give up on their activity way too early, which is what will happen if I don't stop the timer when they arrive. So we've got that. We've got activity state transit. Cool. That will help us keep track of where we're at. We now need to pick target. Pick target. That's going to have to be another function, I think. That's going to be a Padlin. Func pick target. So this is where participation group. This is going to be for group and binary, basically, right? So do we have current target on here? We don't. So we're going to go var current target equals null, because when we have participation type solo, we want to set current target to null. We don't want to remember previous targets. That's a recipe for disaster. And if it's participation type group, we need to pick target here. Hey, okay. So the fact that I had nested if statements, not the stupidest thing, but maybe not the smartest thing either. That might need a little rework again later, but for now this is fine. So pick target. We need to basically find all of the drones that aren't this one, pick one at random, and then try to go start a conversation with them. That's what this activity ultimately boils down to. But the problem is that the little robot, it doesn't know all of the other robots, but hive mind does. And body has a reference to hive mind, I think. Let's double check. Do you have a hive mind variable? You do. And the hive mind sets it, I think. Or game manager sets it. One of the two. So we can refer to that. So we can do, we're going to need something from hive mind, right? So hive mind needs to give us a target. Left myself a note. Now we go into hive mind. So we have register waiting. We've removed waiting. We have get acting drones. That actually tells us all the drones that are currently doing activities right now. That's an important list. It allows us to sort of throttle how many of them are doing activities at once. I actually don't know for sure that that's going to be important. So I had it sort of in my head that maybe for performance reasons, we might want to limit the number of drones that are potentially trying to path to stuff, right? So it made sense at some point as a potential performance thing, especially if I want to try to get this running in a browser or on a potato. That's going to be helpful, I think, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of guys that are trying to find a path to each other, and they might be moving away from each other at the same time, and it's just, oh, and thanks for the follow, Trachea, by the way. I sort of spaced out and was working on stuff, so but yeah, it could be a problem if you've got drones trying to find a path to each other and moving away from each other all the time. That would be bad. So we have a way to do a limit. But we can basically use a really similar function to find a drone that can be interacted with, right? And we already have a function that takes a reference to the drone when the drones are like, hey, I just finished a wait cycle. Can I do an activity now? That's actually how this method gets called. So what we can do is, I want to keep the ones that are like related to waiting kind of close to each other. So we'll just add it at the bottom here. So we'll do func. It's going to be, I guess it would be request other, but it's fully random, right? Because I don't have any preferences and personality traits or anything like that that would make a drone want to do something with another specific drone for any particular reason just yet. So for now, we can do get other random drone. This drone is what it takes in. So the parameter being passed in is the drone that's asking for another random drone, right? So we need to basically go through all of our drones and find one that isn't this one. But if we just go through the array, it's just going to give us the first drone in the array that isn't that guy. And we don't want that. We want a random one that isn't that. So I think what we need to do is get a new array that includes all of the drones except for the one there, and then get a random integer from its indices, from the index of the array. So basically, it's the equivalent of like, you get a hat, you put all the names into the hat except for the drone who's asking. And then you dig and you pull a name out. That's basically what this method is going to do. That's what this function is going to do. I'm going to make another separate method. And what that method is going to do, what that function is going to do, is get everybody else. Because we have get other random drone, but what we don't have is get all other drones. From this drone, right? So we're gonna have, this would be outputs. It's gonna, we want to basically declare a variable that's an array. We're gonna fill this array up with all of the drones from all drones that aren't the one that's getting passed in. So we can actually just grab this guy and just change it a little bit, right? We're going through all the drones. And this one's checking for activity state, right? We actually want if all drones I not equal this drone. So basically for all the drones, if it's not that one, we're going to add it to the list. We're going to add it to output. This says return output. That gives us an array of all the drones that are not the one that's being passed in. So we start this guy with var all else is what we're going to call it, equals get all other drones, this drone. So that gives us the names in the hat, except for the one asking, which is what we want. Then we do we have an RNG in here? No, we don't. Does Game Manager have an RNG? It doesn't. Okay, well, HiveMind can have an RNG as a treat, right? So let's find an RNG. I think Body has one. Where are you? Variable RNG. Do we just declare it in the middle of the function? Or is it in Brain? There it is. There's the RNG. Okay. HiveMind. There's your RNG. Also, I don't think all of the drones need their own personal RNG. They can probably borrow it from HiveMind if they ask nicely. So we've got our RNG. Now we need to do... How did I pull a random integer again? I could check the documentation, or I could find a place where I did it. So we could do rand I range, I think. Let's go var picked equals RNG. Rand I range 0. And then it would be all else size -1. Because we have to do -1 here. Well, do we have to do -1? Yes, I think we have to do -1. And the reason we have to do -1 is that rand I range is inclusive. Yeah, and it even confirms it on the tooltip there. So that means it's going to pick a random number between 0. If I didn't put the -1, it would pick a random number between 0 and the size of the array. But it would include 0 and the size of the array in that random number, right? And what happens if I max it out, right? Let's say the array has 5 drones on it. So it's going to pick a random number between 0 and 5 without the -1. And if it picks 5, and I go, okay, person number 5 in the array, you're it. Well, guess what? An array with 5 people on it, 5 is not a valid index. That's going to be outside of the range of the array. 4 is the last one on the list, not 5. So I have to do all else size -1. That prevents me from saying, from pulling a name out of the hat that was not in the hat, for example, which would cause problems. So we've got the picked int, and so we just return all else, and then in brackets here we do picked int. That will say, for anyone that says, hey HiveMind, get other random drone, it'll be like, here you go, and then it'll basically hand the personal information, address, reference to that other drone, to that guy, right? Cool. We've got our find other random guy method. I'm going to copy it though, in case I misspell it or forget its name immediately, which is very likely to occur. I'm very likely to just be like, oh, pick target. Oh, I forgot what that method is called. I copied it, right? So now what we can do you have reference to hive mind? No, but body does and brain does. We do body. Oh, it's a variable, right? Oh, but you just do current target equals body dot hive mind dot boom, get other random drone. So that's going to set our current target. Perfect. Wow. I don't think that needed to be its own function on this, actually, now that I think about it. I mean, there might be other logic needs to go in there, like an if statement or something to make sure that we actually got a live one or something. But I feel like that's something we would check with hive mind though, right? Anyways, we've got pick target. That'll set current target. We've got our timers. We need a new movement mode call here. So let's put that back into motion, but we need a different movement mode. The only movement modes we have right now, and these are things I think that the body respect. The body, as I had said before, the body is sort of the root of the little guy, right? The body is what everything is built on top of. And it's the thing that has the capsule collider on it. All of the stuff that determines where this guy really is and what it's bumping into, those are all on the body. And that's true of us as well. all of the things that determine what I'm bumping into, that's part of my body. Yeah, that is part of my body. I'm just having like major philosophical like, oh man, that really is part of the body today. Okay. So we've got that. Oh man, I'm having too much fun with this. This was the right call. So we've got body needs a movement mode. I was going to look at the body. We're looking at the body. Okay. And in physics process, this is where I've got the big if statement of what is going to determine how this guy is supposed to frickin' move. Now, oh, and current target is on body, right? Okay. Before I forget, we need to set the body's current target to whatever this guy determined was current target also. So we have to do body dot current target equals current, not current activity. That's going to cause problems. Target. And honestly, man, do we want activity to be telling body what our target is? Yeah, we do. I might regret this later. I might regret how this whole current target thing was doing, how I'm doing this. I might regret that later, because I can imagine there might be a situation in the future where body has a target for a reason other than activity, right? Like maybe it's going to participate in someone else's activity, which I am going to have to script like really soon for this all to work. Or if any of the other features I haven't implemented makes it in, like going on a mission, right? Well, it might have a target so they can like exit the farm and like go off screen and go do stuff. But not because of activity. So if somehow this perform activity thing gets called while it's doing something else, it's going to cause it to go into unknown territory. I'm okay with leaving that little landmine for myself to find as a treat later. But maybe I should leave a comment here just in case I go looking for the source of a bug. Might regret this. There's the comment. Very descriptive. we're going to do a similar one also right there. We're going to save that. We're going to record my shame there. Body time. It's body time. And the body, it needs another movement mode. Because currently, wander sets the direction and moves it. None sets the direction and does not move it. In fact, it tries to stop it from moving. Apart from like any falling it's doing, it should not be moving during movement type none. So we're going to start by going to shared. We're going to need a new movement mode to go after wander, right? So it's traveling to a target. The target is a drone. We know this. So we can call it approach, maybe? Because, like, there might be more than one type of moving to another drone for activity purposes that might determine maybe like an animation or something, or a different kind of emote, or a speed, or some sort of a particle effect, right? Because if I'm imagining like if a Roomba is going to another Roomba because it wants to chatter with them, that's the activity we're scripting right now. We want them to approach, right? So we would call it approach, I would guess. Because I can also imagine a scenario where one of the little guys is moving towards another little guy with ill intent, maybe to cause problems. And so we might want them to move and behave a little differently while they're doing that, right? So we need this to be approach, because that it's pretty neutral. And I think that will get the job done. So we're gonna name that approach. And since shared is just a class with a bunch of enumerators on it, everything knows what approach means, or everything knows that approach is a movement mode, thankfully. So that tells me that we can add to this if statement, elif move mode equals shared movement mode approach. So now this is where we do the moving towards the target part, right? Now, if we're doing this though, I would want to keep in mind that our current target might be null here by mistake. So we're gonna check for that. If current target is null, print who am I supposed to move towards? We want to know who's saying that though, so we're in body, so nickname is stored in the body, right? Nickname plus, so now we know who's saying it. It's like a little piece of dialogue, like who am I supposed to go towards? And then we're gonna go return, because we don't want to throw errors. We just want to get a cute little text message and then have them just not go anywhere, right? But then we can just script the rest of it. I'm just gonna grab the wander here first and foremost. Cool. We've got wander. That seems good. Now wander gives us new direction. Forward direction. Okay, yeah, because that tells me, wait. Okay. Something else is setting the forward direction. Crap. Okay. Is it part of weight? Is it in brain? Start wander. Okay. Okay, that's part of start wander. Okay. So normally it's not changing direction during wander, during none. But it is going to be doing that during approach. So all of this stuff about direction may not be necessary. Now I'm going to check my reference thing that I'm not going to show y'all. So in here, they're setting a direction, nav target position, global.target.position. Direction equals that minus that. Normalize it. Okay. So that should be fine. That should work. I can incorporate that in here. Does body have a reference to the nav guy? Nav. Now we have the navigation agent. Okay. So I think the way I want to do this. I don't know why I reversed the forward direction here. That doesn't seem... -1 times new direction. Why does that not seem productive to me? Well, I will set that to be something else. But I don't understand why I would need to do that. So we're going to do... let's see. There we go. Let's see here. Current target. Global position. I'm assuming global position is going to work here. Again, I haven't done anything with navigation agents before, so I have no idea if this is going to be right or wrong. Sorry, I accidentally flashed my Miro board there by mistake. Okay. So in theory, that gives us the position of the guy that we're trying to move towards. Then, let's see. Yep, we subtract the 2. Oh, there we go. Get next path position. Interesting. So it would be new direction. Nav get next path position minus global position. And I'm not gonna do -1 times new direction here. And if they start moving backwards, we'll know when you have to reverse that, right? Actually, we're going to save... I'm going to save a commented version of how it was before. Just in case. Just in case I'm wrong and we do need that. Make it clean. There we go. Getting fussy here. So let's see, new direction equals new direction dot normalized, right? That makes sense. And the rest of this should work. Okay, so we have what happens if they have the approach movement type. And it will eventually end, because it will eventually give up. We don't currently have a way to tell them that they reached their destination. I do love Miro. We don't currently have a way to tell them that they reached their destination, but they will eventually give up. So, I think this is enough to test. We'll save it. We'll play. We'll see what happens. Somebody's probably going to want to chatter eventually, right? It's a 50-50 chance that any activity they're going to want to do is going to be a chatter. Whoops. Okay. Invalid call on base node. Expected one. Oh, it has to pass a reference to the body. Because the body is the drone, right? HiveMind is expecting a reference to the body, if we call that. Hey, okay, we've got someone trying to chatter. Okay, the people that are trying to chatter appear to not actually be moving towards a friend, as best as I can tell. So I definitely did something wrong. But the question is what? I don't think I know that song. Megan Thee Stallion song Body? I'll have to look into that later. Okay, so I made the movement mode here. Did I just forget to reference it here? In the activity mod? Yeah! I'm telling it to wander. It should be approaching. Okay. That was the problem. Now let's double check body. Okay, it is checking for approach. So all that new stuff I scripted, none of that mattered. We were telling it to wander. They were doing exactly what they were told to do. Exactly what they were told to do, and not anything different. Who am I to judge? All right, we're giving another crack at it. It still doesn't quite seem like they have the hang of it. It still seems like they're wandering. Am I setting that rotation somewhere where I shouldn't? Am I not calling that right? It's a mystery so far. But yeah, they're definitely not, when they're trying to chatter, they're definitely not actively moving towards anyone in particular, as best as I can tell. That is strange. Okay, so we have nav target position, current target dot global position, new direction. Oh, new direction minus, not equals. Okay, there's a typo. That's clearly not going to result in the right thing. I was not setting them up for success. We did get another try. Let's see what they do. Are they... Oh, goodness. It's working. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. The three on the left. One was following another who was being followed by another. It's working. They were able to pursue. Look at... Oh. Something is going on, though. They're wobbling a little bit. They're wobbling a little bit when they're moving. Are they? I don't know. Chet, are you seeing this? They're like like tipping back a little bit while they're while they're moving towards somebody. uh, I don't think that's intended. I don't think they should be doing that. Why are you rotating? Up, 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 up. Yeah, there's like, what, bro? What are you? I mean, it's cute, but I'm not intending them to do that. Why are you doing that? I'll take the win though. Yeah, they're really going. They're really going places. See this guy, he's sort of like rocking, like what does it remind me of? Like the cars with the like hydraulic suspensions that are like bopping and jumping, you know? It's like they're like bumping in the front while they're like heading towards their friend right now, which is kind of funny. It's not what they're supposed to do, but I'll take it. Yeah, why, my guy, why are you doing that? Why, what? I don't understand. I'll take it though. I'll take a win. I'll call that a W. That's pretty much what I wanted them to do. So next up, we need to know that they got to their destination, right? And when they get there, then they get to chat. Then they get to do their little chatter thing, right? That's what we got to do next. And if they don't get there in time, then they give up and do something else. That's what they've got to do. That's how chatter should work. So let's see. Do we even have? We do. We have the thing that we need. So there's this little thing, adjacency area. It's one of the tooltips here. One of the little shapes. Let's change the color so it's a little easier to see. So it's the thing with the purple wireframe, right? We can make it a little less opaque if we want to. Come on, Stoffel. Nah, that's cool. So this is basically it's a little bit bigger than the collision box of the little guy, right? It sticks out. It's a little bigger than a little bigger than that, than the capsule. We need a signal from this area 3D, so that when it collides with other stuff, we know that we're bonking into stuff. Seems simple enough, right? What we can do, a node here, we have all these different things. I think we want area entered. So we're going to connect it to something. My gut instinct tells me to connect it to the brain, right? Just because we're trying to do activity related stuff doesn't mean that we aren't going to use area entered 3D for the adjacency area on it to just be for activities. I think this could be used for other stuff. So we're going to connect this to the brain. So we go connect, brain, connect. And down here we got this guy on adjacent area entered, area 3D. So this is going to tell us if, and it's passing area. I'm pretty sure it's passing the area of whatever entered that zone, right? So we have to make sure that the thing that is going in is not our own body. And then we also need to see if the thing that is going in is another drone, is another little guy, right? Now, one of the best ways I can think of to do that is to see if the thing that entered has a particular method that the drone body has. Except it's going to be the collision shape that enters, right? I don't know. Well, we're going to find out, because it won't take too long to figure that out. So, we need to figure out what the different methods for area. I need to figure out I need the documentation. Let's find the documentation. Ugh. Sorry for the blinding white here. I'm just going to look this up in another window as to not torture you. All right, area 3D, blah, 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 blah. Oh no, we want... Yeah, area 3D. So we're looking for... area entered. There we go. It's when another area enters. I don't think a collision shape is an area, right? So it's gonna see the adjacency area of the other guy. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I need to get dark mode on my ding dang Firefox. Apologies. I don't remember how I did this before. There was another version of the drone, though, that did this. Let's check drone behavior, see if we've got a signal for that. Some of these scripts are from the older versions, right? Is it drone mover, maybe? On area entered. Here we go. If, see, other parent equals area.getParent. Okay. Okay. Primitive. Other area, other parent. Okay, okay. Well, I think that'll work. Because this other parent equals area.getParent. Okay, hang on. If area doesn't equal by area and area doesn't equal head area. Okay, so basically in the older version of the drone, there was more than one area. And so we were just making sure that on body entered, on body area entered. What? That was an interesting signal name there. We were making sure that it wasn't colliding with itself, basically, is what that line was for in this older version, right? But this is still going to be good. Other parent equals area get parent. That should give us the body of the other drone, I think, right? So we have other parent equals area to get parent. We like that. Then we do, what do? We do if other parents not equal. Actually, if I don't need parentheses here. Other parent is, we're in brain. If other parent is body, then we're colliding with ourselves. It's us, dummy. And by putting return there, it means we're not going to run the rest of this code if it somehow is detecting its own self, which we don't want. We don't want it to detect its own self. We want to detect friends with that. I'm gonna say as much. We want to detect friends. We do. So when we get that on adjacency area entered, we want to see, we're in brain, right? We want to see if our main state is activity. Friends detected, absolutely. This is definitely friends detected. So we want to see. Ooh, we need to make sure that the other thing is actually a body, though. So we need to do if other parent has method Here we go. And we got to find a method that only the body has. If it has prep drone, sure. If it has prep drone. That is friend detected. And we'll print as much. Wait, expected. Oh. There we go. Print friend detected. We can just look for the friend detected message to see if this is working as we intended it to, right? And the reason why we're doing like, hey, do you have the method prep drone? That way, if it bonks into something like a wall, or like a meat popsicle, something that is not a friend. If it bumps into something that is not a friend, we don't want it to say friend detected, right? It already won't do that if it bumps into itself, right? So let's look for it. Let's look for friend detected. Hey, friend detected. Look at all them finding friends. Oh, that's so nice. I'm so happy for them. Friend detected. Yeah, it should be all caps. Yeah, we can fix that. That's a bug. Bug report. Should be all caps. I'm just bound to have another very embarrassing spelling error anytime now. Soulsborne voice, but I'm eating and hit send on accident. What? I'm not sure if I understand the joke there, but I'll take the yippee. I'll take the yippee. But I'm eating and I hit send on accident. There we go. Cool. Oh, I get it. As in, you intended friends detected to be in Soulsborne voice or something, or maybe that like, sort of like that you died, but friend detected. That would probably make a pretty fun short, maybe. Yeah, yeah, okay. I think I get it. I'm picking up what you're putting down. There we go. Yeah, I got it. We got there. Okay, friend detected. So we know they found the friend. We did that, and it worked. Like we did test it. So now there's a couple of things we need to find out. We need to make sure that we're in activity mode. We need to make sure that the thing that we bumped into is our intended target, right? And then once we do that, then we know that we're going to chatter with them. So from there, well, yeah, no, that should be fine. That should work. But we want to do that not in this method though, right? So we're going to do a new function. And we're going to do it above so we don't mix signals and non-signals, right? Func friend detected. But this function is not all caps because that would be bad styling. I have standards. So friend detected, right? First things first, if main states, if that's shared main state activity. So we know we're in activity mode. We also need to know if we're in transit. Probably we should pass the ball to the activity mod script at this point, instead of continuing to do this in Drone Brain. Because the stuff that handles activity state is all there. It should probably all stay there. That makes sense. So here we go. And hey, would you look at that? We have the start arrival method right here that I've already made. But I can't use that yet because we don't know for sure. Just because we bonk into somebody and we're in activity mode, it doesn't mean that we were actually trying to do that, right? We need to actually figure that out. So, what am I going to call a function for figuring out what we do when we bump into a friend, right? When we bump into a friend on the street, we catch up, right? We catch up with them. I'm going to call it that. Func. Actually, that's going to be confusing. That's a confusing name. That's not descriptive of what this actual function is going to do. A person that reads that method name and then reads what it does is not going to understand. That's not going to be good. I can't do that. I need to come up with another name. Well, I'll rename it once it's written. Right? Let's do that. Actually, no, I already have a good name. It's going to be Friend Handler. It handles the friend. I don't know what else to say. Hang on. We have to know what friend. We have to. We don't know. I'm having too much fun. Whew, we have to pass the friend. Through friend detected. No, it's expecting an argument with our friend. I don't want to argue with my friend. No, this method doesn't know that that's called that. Oh, it's called the other parent. Okay. Whew, gotta bring it back here. Whew, freaking crying. Oh, and I have no handkerchief, but I have tissues. Oh, every adult and child, actually, every human person needs to have tissues by their desk. We need to do that. We need to, in case we have a good, happy laugh cry like that, or the sad cry. But we need the tissues. Okay, so it's passing other parent to friend detected. Friend detected knows that's the friend after calling the other parent. Mom says, "It's my turn to play Xbox." That's pretty good. Oh, man. Yeah, the other parent would give you permission to play the Xbox. Yeah. They would make him switch. That's when you break out the dummy controller, right? It's not actually plugged in the Xbox. And they get to pretend that they're also playing Xbox, but they're not. They're not playing Xbox. It's not plugged in anything. I mean, it might be even easier to trick somebody with a wireless controller that we've got now. Because you don't even have to plug it in. Eventually, a kid's going to figure that out and be like, my controller is not plugged in. I'm not actually playing. But in the days of wireless controllers, how are kids supposed to figure out that their most likely older sibling is pranking them, right? Anyways, when we have friend detected, what is activity mod called? The brain should have a reference to it, right? Oh, it's just activity _ mod. That makes sense. Oh no, I'm starting to laugh again. Friend handler. I'm losing it again. Okay. Oh no! It's expecting an argument. There we go. Here we go. We've got friends. Man, I'm gonna run out of time because I spent so much time laughing about friend handler. Okay, friend handler. All right, so we need to determine if the friend is the current target. We have to determine if we're in transit. That's going to decide what we do with friend handler here, right? So if friend is the same as current target. No, not current activity. If activity state is shared activity state transit. Okay, so the friend is our current target. We are in transit. Then we do start arrival. There we go. Okay, it's all coming together. So start arrival. So the thing is, I have this comment here. Remember this? I had absolutely forgotten that I had already made the start arrival method before I navigated to the script and frickin' saw that it was there, right? That's good stuff. So start arrival. We're stopping our timer because we don't want it to go off and cause us to give up too soon. We basically need to reset our timer, right? Because we're starting arrival. But we need to change our activity state. Now, what are our options for activity state? None, thinking, transit, acting. We need to start acting, right? A new career in acting. So we need to do activity state. Well, hang on. This is checking if we're in transit, right? But I want to make extra sure that we are in transit at the start of here, in case something else can call start arrival. I don't know off the top of my head, but I want to make sure. So only if activity state is shared activity state transit. No, not thinking. Transit. I am not thinking. All right, under those conditions, timer starts, and the activity state is now shared activity state acting. So start acting probably needs to be its own function. Func start acting. I kind of want to, makes me want to say that in like Smash Brothers announcer voice. Start acting. All right, we've got activity state acting. Man, that was a good cry. Now that we have it, now we can move the emote display stuff. Yeah, that I marked as temporary into start acting. That way they're going to do the chat emote, but only when they're actually close enough to do it, right? And instead of chatter in this comment, we're going to do move to chatter. All right, so we have the actual chatting. We're going to need to do some activity timer stuff. And this is where we can rip all of the wait code out of this guy, because we're basically doing the same thing that that we did for doing space out, right? So for that we do this guy. Oh, basically it's all that except for the move mode, right? Oh no, we do want them to stop moving. So movement mode none is correct. We want them to stop moving when they chatter. Ah, yeah, I gotta walk the buppo. Important. Well, I may be done before you get back, but I do appreciate that you were hanging out with me. Lecture size. This has been fun. We had a good laugh. I cried. That's not an exaggeration. Freaking friend handler. Okay, so where was I? Start acting. That's where I was. Boop. We've got some anger colors here. And wait time is not really what we want necessarily, but it's gonna work, so I don't particularly care. And we're in activity state acting, right? So in state acting, we toggle our bubble, we got our emote sprite, we're doing our random time and our flex time, we're starting the timer, movement mode is done. We do want the robot to stop moving if they start chattering, right? Except during stop activity, we are checking. Oh no, we're setting activity state to none. Actually, this works. That should still work. Okay, now what this won't do is it won't make the target chatter. It won't cause them to chatter. That ain't gonna happen. But this will cause, I think the changes I've made so far will cause the drone to pass to their friend and then do the emote for a few seconds. So we're gonna save all these. I think we're good. I think we can start. Let's see how this goes. Fingers crossed. Come on, little guys. Let's see some chattering happen. Oh, they did the emote right away. Oh, interesting. The opposite happened. They arrived and it turned off. Okay, that is not what I was trying to make happen. So so we're displaying during start acting. This is very strange. I don't know why it would do that. Unless... Well, let's play it again. I don't know quite what occurred there. Okay, they've got the neutral faces going. But when they... This is very interesting. I don't know why it's acting up like this. They shouldn't be displaying the friend emote while they're on their way to the friend. So I don't know entirely why that's happening. Okay, so we have pick activity. Well, let's see where we're talking to the emoter, right? Start acting, we have set it to true. Cool. Pick activity random. We're setting it to true There's the culprit. We don't want that. We don't want them to display immediately anymore. Just while they're doing it. Okay, this should be the intended behavior now. No, no. They're still smiling. I mean, we're closer. We're closer to the intended behavior. Okay, so what we need to do now is tell the emoter to toggle the bubble off as part of the prep, right? As part of initial setup. Sad. Not the best thing in the world. That'll happen in brain, I think, as part of prep drone. I think. No, that'll happen in body. Body as prep drone. So it sets a bunch of references, but we want to do is prepped equals true. Right before we do start wait, we're going to do... Actually, we could make that part of start wait, can't we? That would be more bang for our buck, wouldn't it? Oh, I must not have accidentally undid a change there. So in activity. Oh no, it's in brain. The start wait is in the brain. Here we go. So we have end wait. There's start wait. So, and is the emoter here? It's not, but we can add a reference to it. Emoter, mode 3D. Boop. That wasn't so bad. So then in start wait, we just do I don't remember the method though. Toggle bubble false is what we want there. Not toggle bubble false, just toggle bubble false. We're approaching tongue twister territory with that. Toggle bubble false. False. There we go. So we save there. Very cool. And now we got to see if it works. I'm pretty sure we're going to have intended behavior here. Okay. No bubbles. That's good. That's a start. People are spacing out. People going to their friends. They want to chat. Excellent. Now, we're not making their friends chatter just because we get there just yet. But we have going to a friend and starting the little chatter thing. And that's pretty dang good. That's what I was hoping for. See, look, it's chasing him. He's getting him. He's going for him. Oh, that feels great. I'm really happy about that. Oh, but he did. Oh, he must have given up. He must have given up before friend detected. Man. You can't always win him, right? You can't always win him. And see, we got people chatting with somebody who's spacing out. I like what I see there. I'm really happy with this so far. And, well, what do you know? We are at the end of our stream. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's been fun. This was great. I had a very good time. Laughed and cried. I'll have some updates for you soon. I'll be streaming again on Friday. That should be cool. And let's raid somebody else, maybe. Yeah. Thanks, Trachea. Happy to have you. And oh, somebody. What happened there? Did y'all see that? There was a guy that got up onto the ramp and then tipped onto his back, but then snapped out of it. What happened with that, bro? Wild. There must be some rotation stuff going on in the pathing thing, because it only seems to happen when they're trying to go see a friend, I think. I don't know. That's interesting, though. That's interesting. We'll figure it out. We'll figure that out later. That's a problem for another time, right? That's a problem for another time. And that'll be a great clip for later. Anyways, it's been good. I had a lot of fun. I hope y'all had a lot of fun, and we'll see y'all Friday. Bye-bye. Actually, let's try to raid somebody else, maybe.